And by the way, any entrepreneurs tuning in, if you want to launch a company, from 0 to 5 years is going to be eating shit all day.
Yep.
Hard as hell, terrible. And I worked with like 1 billion different engineers that came on board and worked with me as like co-founders, early partners. They all quit. And the only reason why you will quit is because you underestimate the amount of time, effort, capital, resources, failure, hard work it will take.
Welcome to Sales Secrets with Brandon Bornancin. On the daily, Brandon shares new secrets to help maximize sales and make more money today. Never miss a show by hitting the subscribe button now.
All right. So today, of course, we have our man, Brandon from Seamless, one of our earliest portfolio companies, doing really big things, not slowly, but very fast, every single day. I believe he uses where he works 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I've seen it. It's actually really hard to even get a hold of this guy. But Brandon, say what's up.
Hey, what's going on, Naveen? Thanks so much for having me. Excited to talk about my journey and experience with you guys and everything we've been able to accomplish so far.
Yeah. So, you know, back in 2016 is when we first met. And right away, you know that Brandon is a dynamic person and he is not shy and he loves to talk about what he's passionate about, which is selling and sales. He's very energetic and I want everyone to kind of feel the energy today. So yeah, let's just talk about when we first met. Do you remember when we first met?
Yeah. So I met your partner. Well, okay. So I met you at the gym, and before meeting you at the gym, I believe Darshan at First Watch Worthington for breakfast. And I don't even eat breakfast because I'm whole food plant powered and I intermittent fast. But it was awesome. It was like, you guys were launching this newer venture capital fund. And I was super excited to get involved and figure out how we could work together. And I met you because you're the only guy at the gym with a Tesla. And it was like right when the Teslas came out, these super successful entrepreneurs and doctors, they got all the new toys. And I'm like, dude, how'd you get this car? This thing looks sick. Is it as sick as everyone talks about it? And you're like, yeah, it's awesome. I highly recommend it. And I'm like, oh yeah, what do you do? You're like, oh, well, I'm a doctor and I run a VC fund. I'm like, no shit. Well, I'm fundraising for my company. We should chat. And then I think we merged the two convos from what I remember.
Yeah, that was my phase one when I made a lot of money as an anesthesiologist, and then I took the entrepreneurial jump. But yeah, that's the past.
Yeah, and the entrepreneurial jump is you go from making a shitload of money to being broke and working tirelessly for years.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I used to put people to sleep, and now I wake people the fuck up. That's my job. So I'm in phase two of my life, and I believe we saw each other at like 5:30 in the morning at the gym, which just a core group of crazies who wake up in the morning and hustle. And I think when we met at the gym early that morning, right now, it's like, boom, sign of a hustler. And we're talking about Seamless and what you're doing. And tell me about Seamless. Tell me about why and how you started it. And then we'll get into progress.
Yeah, real quick. So Seamless finds emails and cell phones for everyone in the world. We're on a mission to help the world connect opportunity. Why does Facebook force you to have to be a friend with someone? Why does LinkedIn force you to have to connect with someone to build these relationships and connections, right? Like, what if there was a platform where anyone that you needed to connect with, you click a button, find them, and then get their emails and cell phones and connect with them instantly? No barriers, complete democratization of connecting the world to opportunity. So we created Seamless, which is like a Google for salespeople, where you could search for any title, any company, any criteria in real time, get every single person in the world that you need to connect with. And then we use AI to find emails and cell phones for everyone in the world. Built it because I was selling for IBM and Google, and it was just stupid how long and time consuming and waste it was to try to find the people that you needed to sell to acquire new customers. So took years to build, but built Seamless to automate all of it. Became a millionaire using it, and then wanted to help the world accomplish the same and generate billions in revenue.
And you were in a sales position, and you were you saw the tools in front of you and you said there needs to be a better way to help me as a salesperson. Is that correct?
Yeah, 100%. It'd be like, before Google, you had to use the yellow books to find the people that you needed to sell to. My world was, here's your yellow books. Go try to figure out who are the people and the companies and the emails and phone numbers. And it was just stupid. So it's like, we're like, hey, this needs to happen instantaneously, where you could search for everyone that you need to sell to and then get their cell phones and emails using AI. And we built it for ourselves to automate selling. And then we automated selling, sold over $100 million in sales, and realized if we could do it, we're no smarter, better, bigger, faster than any of you tuning in. So let's help everyone in the world do the same.
And yeah, that's great. And I remember we were the first investors to come into Seamless, and we've done a few of those crazy kind of type investments where there's a lot of people standing on the line and saying, wow, you have a great vision. You seem like a hustler, but people will not come forward. Do you remember when we, after we did some diligence and spoke with you and met with you and decided to move forward? Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite things about Loud is it's entrepreneurs that have actually done shit. Like, when you're an entrepreneur, you want to work with other people who have actually built, started, managed, grown companies with all of their own money. The problem with a lot of these venture capital firms and PE firms, they're ran by freaking talking suits that work at banks, that put your info into a spreadsheet. And then if the numbers out of the spreadsheet don't match their required returns or risk profile, they will either wait and see, or they will just hold off and not invest ever. So I would say 90% of these VC firms are like that. They're literally like bankers at an office. If it doesn't hit these 19 things with a low risk profile and a high return, then we're not going to invest. And the majority of them all wait for someone else to put in the first check. So, right away when I met Loud, I was like, holy shit, these guys have actually been there, done that. They built companies, they manage them, and they did it all with their own money. Like, it wasn't like the partners at Loud came from a ton of money. Like, these are people who have built their own companies from the ground up with their bare hands with no support, just like I did. And that's super valuable for any entrepreneur, because when you're looking at making decisions about the business, acquiring customers, marketing, sales, investing, scaling, operations, customer success, HR, management, you want to work with people that have actually been there and done that. So I remember, dude, I went 3 years. I pitched 347 venture capitalists. 297 of them said yes. Loud Capital was my first VC firm to say yes after I went through a few pre-seed accelerators. And it was amazing. Like, we were down to the last dollar. Like, we were running out of money. We had this amazing idea. We had about 3 months left to get this software that we were developing to market. And if we ran out of cash, the whole party's over. And, by the way, the Loud crew, anyone tuning in that's an investor, that's an entrepreneur, like, get your shit together when you meet with these guys. Because, like, I went through 5-10 different meetings with these guys, right? Like, because they've been there and done that, they know what to ask about, what to try to figure out, what works, what doesn't work. Are the people going to do whatever it takes to succeed no matter what with our money, you name it. So it's not an easy process. You got to go through a lot of meetings. But we went through it. And yeah, I remember we're sitting in the office in downtown Columbus, and the three of us, you, me, Darshan, we all signed everything, and it was amazing. But leaving that meeting, it was like, okay, shit, back to work, get up, back to work, get back to it.
And going back to what you said about, there's a lot of financial folks who've never built a business in the industry, in the investment industry in general, VC, PE. I learned that very early on when I was trying to network with some others. And I said, yeah, what do you think? We're strategizing on potentially this company and the way we think. And there was just a lot of silence on the other side of the call. And then I realized this person has never built a business. Never. They're probably smarter than me in the books, did an amazing education, etc. But to not build a business, to know that you're going to get punched in the gut most of the time. And it's really about getting up and moving forward and just trying different doors and keep going. And you cannot put that on a spreadsheet. In fact, it takes a lot of effort to put those spreadsheets down and to learn about the person. And so when we met you, Brandon, you know, hustling, you never stop selling, which I laugh at in a really like friendly manner, because you will not give up. And so when Darshan and myself said, we see the opportunity of Seamless, we see the problem you're trying to solve, but Brandon will not let this go. You know, he's persuaded us, but the more people he meets with and speaks with, they get it, and then they become his customers. And we knew that early on. And perhaps that's considered still a risk with all these other factors missing. You know, you were still very early, didn't have a financial history with this company, but that's okay. That's venture capital. And I don't see a lot of venture happening in the industry of venture capital. And that means taking risk. And it also means that when we decide to move forward strategically, we need to be entrepreneurial by your side. So when you do get punched in the gut, when you do say, damn, that was a really hard day, you call us and you say, we got to problem solve. And so it's problem solvers investing in problem solvers. To me, that's the secret sauce.
100%. Yeah. And I remember, like, you know, we had an MVP software that we had to rebuild. We built Seamless MVP 1, launched it, got 100 to, I don't know, 500 customers. Then it wasn't built for scale. So we actually had to shut down the software, move to a services-based business. So like Seamless delivers the world's best sales leads. So imagine building a software that automatically finds the world's best sales leads for you, their emails, their cell phones. Then you're like, oh shit, we built it wrong, but we know how to fix it. We're going to need another 6 months to do that. So we had to call all the customers, sell them that the software is actually a worse idea, and they really want all of the leads done for them with humans. So then we sold 70% of the customers to stay with us, went to a services-based business while Austin and my team had to rebuild the whole platform for scale because my first round of engineers did it wrong. And then, of course, all these engineers, they think that they're going to become Mark Zuckerberg and launch Facebook and build $1 billion company in 6 months. Well, then from 0 to 6 months, shit's really hard. And by the way, any entrepreneurs tuning in, if you want to launch a company, from 0 to 5 years is going to be eating shit all day.
Yep.
Hard as hell, terrible. And I worked with like 1 billion different engineers that came on board and worked with me as like co-founders, early partners. They all quit. And the only reason why you will quit is because you underestimate the amount of time, effort, capital, resources, failure, hard work it will take. And the only reason why they quit is because they don't have sales, and then businesses die because they don't have sales. But when it comes to partners, these engineers, they always underestimate the amount of time and effort it will take to be successful. So when we had to shut down everything, all of my current investors, because Loud came in first, and then we had a bunch of other VCs that came on board. When we had to tell this small group that invested early on in our seed round that, hey, we're going to shut it down, we're going to still build it, we just got to rebuild it, they were the only ones that continued to support us all the time, while a few of our VCs backed by banker suits disappeared completely. Now, of course, guess what? Years later, when you've built one of the fastest growing SaaS companies in the US, now they're, oh, Brandon, you know, can you invest? Oh, Brandon, I want you a part of the fund. Oh, Brandon, because like, yeah, we were there. It was working out and we were benefiting. So we're in. Shit got hard. It was not benefiting us anymore. So they ditched me. Because VCs, what they'll do is they'll make 10 bets and hope that 1 or 2 hit. But what was cool about Loud, which I really respect and admire and appreciate, and that's why I'm going to be friends and work with these guys forever, is when shit got bad and we were no longer 2 out of the 10 of their top companies in their portfolio, they didn't ditch me. They didn't ignore my calls. They didn't stop supporting me, meeting with me, helping us figure out how we would nail it. Like, that's the difference in Loud. They're loud in their support and their effort and their work product, no matter what, to help entrepreneurs win. That was a critical point because it was bad. It was like, it was bad for the first year. Then it got worse for the second year. Then the third year, we almost went bankrupt and died. And that third year of hell where everyone quits, like that was when we needed to support. Everyone ditched us. Loud was one of the only investors that didn't ditch us. And then boom, we launched and went from 0 to millions in sales from launch insanely fast, less than a year.
Well, I appreciate those comments, but I will say that as entrepreneurs, Darshan and myself, we have also been through the ringer ourselves, just starting a VC firm from scratch, and our previous ventures. It hasn't been smooth, and entrepreneurship isn't. So we're, I guess, empathetic and understanding of your journey, and still believe in you. And if you don't have that personal experience, it's probably really hard to relate. But one thing I want to just continue talking about is one thing I want to have you do is continue to, obviously you're out there, you put yourself on marketing and do, a lot of video content, which is great. But after you succeed, as in a full exit, IPO, all your amazing goals that will happen, just promise me that you will continue to influence and speak about the entrepreneurial journey so other entrepreneurs and other investors know how it is. We cannot talk enough about it, and not just a few inspirational quotes. They need to know the shit you went through, the stuff we're talking about right now. We need to constantly talk about, keep it real. And that's what some of my goals are, just to start talking more about the shit that I didn't used to share.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wrote a whole book on it, whatever it takes, like how to master the habits to transform your business, relationships, and life. I wrote this when Governor DeWine shut down the state of Ohio, because I knew my team would underestimate the shitstorm that we were about to get into, just like the housing market crisis of 2007 to 2009. So everything that I wrote about in that book highlights everything that I went through as an entrepreneur, building Seamless, what other billionaires, millionaires went through, and my experience just from building multiple companies from the ground up, some that have failed, some that have achieved 7, 8, 9 figures in sales. It's critical. And the worst thing you can do as an entrepreneur is underestimate the amount of work and money and time and sales you need to be successful.
Speaking of time, effort, and being conscious of everyone's time, I think this was a great conversation, and I say we move on so we can continue building our businesses and get shit done. What do you think? Yeah, I love it. All right, man. Thank you so much for having this discussion, and look forward to seeing the growth of Seamless. It's incredible.
Real quick, just to keep it real. So, big shout out to all the partners at Loud, anyone that's invested in Loud, anyone that supported Loud. Seamless wouldn't exist without the funding that we had from Loud Capital. I remember it very clearly. We were running out of money, $5,000 in the bank. That month, we didn't get the investment. The business is over. It's shut down, dies. Now we support nearly 500,000 sales teams, marketing teams, entrepreneurs. We've got tens of thousands of customers, hundreds of employees. And in the next 12 months, we're shooting for IPO. None of that would have existed without your support in Loud Capital's team, and then Loud Capital's team support and investment in Seamless. So I'm forever grateful for everything that you guys have done for our company. We wouldn't be here without it. And thank you. I'm excited to see you guys continue to impact a lot of great entrepreneurs, investors, you name it. And it was amazing, like with all of our success, to be able, hopefully, to be one of the first exit returns for Loud. And, luckily Loud is smart. They're still involved. So, this IPO is going to be huge. And I can't wait to return the fund tens times over, just on the bet that you guys made with Seamless.ai. And I work 7 days a week. I will die before I quit.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much. And yes, you are Loud's first exit and beyond return on investment. A lot of financial wins for the investors. And I'm just trying to add the educational component to ourselves and investors, because we get to learn a lot from our portfolio companies. So once again, thanks for your time, and see you soon, buddy.
Thank you guys so much. Appreciate you.
All right. See ya.
Thank you for listening to Sales Secrets with Brandon Bornancin. If you enjoyed the show, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss an episode that drops on the daily. Your success is our success. This show is sponsored by Seamless.ai, the world's best sales leads. Get direct dials, emails, and cell phones for anyone in seconds. Request an invite to join for free at Seamless.ai. That's Seamless.ai.